Hello and welcome to Finextra TV. I'm Alex Lippic. You join us here in Lisbon for EBAday 2024. And I'm very pleased indeed to be joined in the studio by Mike Whitehead and Tapan Agarwal of Intellect iGTB. Great to see both of you here. How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on the sofa with me. So I'm going to start with you first, if I may, Tapan. Bring us up to date. What are the current trends that you're seeing really shape the payment industry at the moment, do you think?
Yeah, I think the payment sector is seeing a lot of innovation. There are a large number of fintechs in payments. And as we saw in the entire EBAday conference, the instant payments, right? We have about 70 countries with instant payments, and the instant payment regulation has been passed in the EU. So instant payments is a huge trend, right? Over 200 billion instant payments were processed last year. And the extension of instant payments to the one leg out SEPA instant, the immediate cross-border instant payments, this is going to be a huge trend. India is planning to extend instant payment, immediate cross-border payments currently in about 6 countries, India, Singapore, India, UAE, to about 30 countries over the next 5 years. And this is all in alignment with the G20 initiative to make payments faster, cheaper, and more transparent, right? So this is one huge trend. The other trend is with payments, right? Payments carry a huge amount of structured remittance information now in the ISO 20022 messages. And this information enables banks to offer value-added services to their corporate clients like receivables reconciliation. And the other great thing is that using technologies like generative AI, which are now very mature, over the next few years, we see a lot of usage of generative AI to mine the data in payment messages and to generate insights for relationship managers, product managers, and operations managers. So we at iGTB have built a payments co-pilot which actually does this, right? So we are one of the pioneers in this field. The other key trend is, of course, the rise of distributed ledger technology, digital wallets, and the whole concept of payments becoming embedded in a larger ecosystem and a larger user journey, right? So that's a huge change, and we see that over the next few years, with Internet of Things, your refrigerator will start ordering products, and that will trigger a huge explosion in the volume of payments.
Sure. Would you concur with that, Mike? Are you seeing similar trends?
I would. I think the competitive environment that we operate in, especially sitting here at EBAday, is particularly profound. I think the European banks are increasingly focusing on payments and all of the competitive threats that they're under. I think they're under threats from some of the large global cash management banks, but also at the same time from some of the fintechs that you see in this marketplace. So everything that Tapan says I would concur with, but also reinforce the competitive environment in which all players are operating in the market.
Sure. Really interesting insight from you both. Thank you for that. Tapan, I'm going to come to you again if I may. Do you see any potential use cases for CBDC at all? Yeah,
absolutely. I think the CBDC concept is evolving. The US Fed had done a consultation on a digital dollar. The Bank of England has done a consultation on the digital pound, and the digital euro public consultation phase is going on in Europe, right? If you look at the Indian banking sector, they ran a successful pilot where the Reserve Bank of India actually issued CBDC in wallets and people used it, right? But this technology is still evolving, and I think the long-term use cases are, A, obviously it does away with physical currency, and therefore it does away with checks and cash, right? So it improves the efficiency in the economic system. B, it gives greater traceability and auditability because it's issued by the central bank and it's a digital currency. And C, it gives much greater control in terms of fraud, money laundering, and sanctions, right? Because of its programmable nature, because of its ability to track itself, right? You're able to control suspicious transactions.
Sure, and that's always a good thing. I mean, fraud's a big topic at the moment. Speaking of partnerships, Mike, Why are partnerships with fintech so important, do you think?
I think it is a trend that is increasing within this business. I think in the past maybe there was a view that partners could be competitive threats. I think we've evolved past that now to see that partnerships make a lot of sense. I think fintech partnerships especially are rounding out the offerings that some of the major banks have. So as a fintech ourselves, we believe that there is a lot that we can bring to the table in terms of capability for our banks, but we're also cognizant that banks would like to partner with us. So it's not a matter of fintechs replacing banks, it's much more working in conjunction together. And I think that is something that you see across the spectrum of the payments business and the larger cash management business in general.
Sure. You mentioned the payments business. There's a lot of regulatory changes happening at the moment. How do you think, and Mike, I'm going to come to you again if I may, how do you think banks can best tackle these changes?
It's a challenge because that regulatory change is taking place across Europe in many different forms and in many different countries. It's certainly not a single regulatory regime across the whole marketplace. We believe that by partnering with somebody like Intellect, that enables banks to leverage the capabilities that we have and the changes that we have made to comply with those regulations. So we have done it once, banks can then benefit from that across the whole region. But you're right to ask the question because a lot of change is taking place and probably it's an increasing trend, maybe unfortunately, but probably an increasing trend.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I think banks need to invest in the right talent to interpret regulations and to act on them. And they need to invest in the right partners. So what we at iGTB have done is that every year we do an iGTB Oxford School of Transaction Banking, where we bring all the bankers together and we talk business, we talk regulation, we talk product management. How can banks cope with the pace of change, right? So invest in the right partners, invest in talent, train your resources, and also have right platforms and the right architecture, right? Which can cope with a regulatory change in real time. So that's really important.
And that's why I think these sort of events are so important, to bring people together and get them all around the table and talking. I've really enjoyed talking with you two, and I just want to thank you so much for giving up your time. We'll let you get back to the busy event, but thank you ever so much. We do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.